Miners, and welcome back. I got a special one for you today. We are playing a deck in honor of Black Friday, trying to get our opponent's hand at a discount, specifically 100% off. We are playing UnPOXable Slasher. Some of you may recognize this deck from a video from a few weeks ago where it just absolutely wrecked me in the final round of the Jewel Storm video. And Nene666, the creator of this deck, was nice enough to send me the list. As soon as I saw them play a Unstoppable Slasher, I'm like, okay, I gotta give this deck a try. So Nene was nice enough to send me the deck list so that I could give it a shot, and it is just an awesome idea. I absolutely love what they were going for with this deck. So let's dive into it. This is a take on a mono black Pox list. However, it's kind of spicy. It goes all in on the mana denial strategy. Not only is it 4 Wasteland, 4 Smallpox, we also got a full play set of Sinkholes to really go after our opponent's mana. And then a much faster clock than a lot of the traditional Pox lists have, being able to showcase Unstoppable Slasher, which, while it's just a little 2/3, it does have the ability that whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they lose half of their life total rounded up. So even though it's only a 2/3, it's actually an extremely fast clock. Like, if you think about it, if this is the only thing on the board, your opponent's at 20, it connects, they go to 18, then they go down to 9, hit him again, 7, down to 3, hit him again, 1, they're dead. It is a 3-turn clock on its own if it goes unanswered, and there's nothing to stop it and nothing to block it. It also has a kind of cool fixed recursion, so to speak, that we saw in Duskmourn, where if it were to go to the graveyard with no counters on it, return it to the battlefield with 2 stun counters on it, which is kind of like putting it on suspend, so to speak. A stun counter means instead of untapping it, remove a stun counter. When there's no more stun counters, it untaps normally. So kind of a cool little fast clock with some recursion in there. It also kind of fixes some of the problems with Smallpox decks where your creatures are going to die, but this is able to come back as long as it doesn't have any counters on it, and they need exile-based removal to be able to deal with it. It also has the Sedgemoor Witch Chain of Smog Infinite combo as a kind of oops, I win button. So it's a Pox deck with a much faster clock than a lot of the traditional Pox decks would have. It is also taking advantage of some of the new MDFCs from Modern Horizons 3 as well, in the form of Fel the Profane, which can be a land when we need it, or it's also just removal for both creatures and planeswalkers. It is a little slow at 4 mana, but the versatility of just straight up destroy a creature or a planeswalker is really, really nice. Rounding out it is just your normal mono black mana base with some fetch lands, removal in the form of Force of Will, Bowmasters to punish card draw, Dark Ritual to speed your stuff out. Sideboard is a nice little collection of cards. I thought about messing with it a little bit, but I think Nene did a really, really good job crafting the sideboard. You've got a full play set of Leyline of the Void for your graveyard-based combo decks and Reanimator decks, Toxic Deluge to be able to mop up go-wide decks, such as the energy decks that are kind of running around right now. Torok Dread Decanter is a personal favorite of mine. It is pro-white, which is huge because the exile-based removal is really what punishes this deck, so it can get around Leyline Bindings and Swords to Plowshares, and you can also kick it to be able to him your opponent and grow it. And in a deck that revolves around a lot of discard with Smallpoxes, Liliana the Veil, Chain of Smog, even if you don't kick it, there's a very good chance you're going to be able to just grow it naturally as you play what your deck wants to do. Also, you've got a little bit of a sideboard suite for more combo and artifact decks. You've got 3 Damping Spheres for the Storm decks. You've got Null Rod for all of the artifact decks that are running around, like your Mystic Forge combo that's going on right now. It also hates on a lot of the Storm decks and stuff like that. So we are going to take this through a league, see if we can strip our opponent's hand, and as a bonus pleasure here, we have the newest miner deciding to make her on-camera debut. Everybody, meet Tattle. She is our new little kitten that we just got. So, as you can tell, she is very much a shoulder cat. So, she will hopefully be making her presence known in the next couple of videos that are coming out. But anyways, let's take this through a league, see if we can strip our opponent's hand and Pox him out of the game so that we can maybe get a couple of flawless victories with no lands and no hand. And I will catch you all in the wrap-up. Alright, round one. Lost the die roll, unfortunately, but this isn't a bad hand, so I think we're going to keep this. Depending on what our opponent does here, we are just going to go ahead and jam Unstoppable Slasher on turn one. If they just start off with, like, okay, okay, Vexing Bobble's fine. We're still just going to slam Stalker or Slasher, I think. This could be Death and Taxes, which my experience with it so far has been just absolutely horrendous. Next turn, we have the ability to either Sinkhole or Bowmasters, depending on what happens here. I'm a little concerned about basic planes. Because like I said, this screams Death and Taxes, or this could be something else. Okay, Energy. That's not terrible. We don't super care. What we could do, what's the loyalty on this thing? It starts with 3. I was gonna say we could force the flip attack with Stalker. I'm just not sure if that's what I want to do here. There's a part of me that wants to take them just off of this plains and kind of just sit back for a second here. Not super sure what the correct answer here is. We could always get to the point where, like, we can Fell the Profane the Ajani once we get it to flip. Or, like I said, we could just kill this, force the flip, get in, and then see what happens from there. But I think at this point, because I'm like a little worried about a Swords to Plowshares. We can take 2. I'm not super concerned about that at the moment. We could also wait until next turn, let them do their thing, and then force the Ajani flip, but I think we're going to try to keep them off of mana. Like, that's what this deck is trying to do. Hope that we can mana screw them. We will hold back on D for now in case they decide to go in with the Ajani. They're probably not going to. We can take 2 damage from a Cat Warrior. That's not really a problem. If they drop a 1-drop next turn, if they just get in with this Cat Warrior, we can Orcish Bowmasters the 1-drop. Assuming it's not, like, Guide of Souls. This could just be, like, a mono-white energy deck. Okay, they're going to force the flip this way. But luckily they don't have any red permanents. Like, this is mostly fine. They don't have any red permanents yet. They'll flip this. We can kill... If they get in with a cat, we kill one cat. Then we kill the other one and ping a Johnny. Or they're just going to make another Cat Warrior. Which, again, is mostly fine. If they don't really do anything with these Ajanis, we also can just go ahead and work up to a Fell the Profane. We have a Vexing Bauble of our own. The question just becomes is, like, how do we want to do this at this point? I think we will just play the Bauble. It's a redraw for next turn. They're probably going to get another cat regardless. I think we're just going to go ahead and see how much we can blow them out here. We'll just sit back on the Slasher at the moment. It does come back, so there's something to be said about if they want to double block it, I'm actually kind of okay with that. Yeah, let's actually get in with it. Now that I think about it, like, if they want to double block it, that's fine. I'm just going to go after the life total. They get rid of 1, that's also fine. Okay, so if they do that... Oh, wow, they're triple blocking. Okay. Am I okay with this? Because I kill 2 of them, and then I can ping off the 3rd one with Orcish Bowmasters, and then kill a Johnny next turn? Yeah, I think I'm okay with this, actually. 1, 1, and 0. Yeah, that's fine. Kill 2 of those. Unstoppable Slasher comes back. Depending on what they do... Oh, hello, Nahiri. Hi, baby. Depending on what they do here, we can always flash in the Bowmaster, get rid of the last one, and then we can start attacking down a Johnny, or we can just Fell the Profane it. Like, if they play like an Ocelot Pride, I can also Orcish Bowmaster kill the Ocelot Pride. Alright, creating a dude, that's fine. We can take 2 damage. I'm not super concerned about that. And like I said, this leaves us with mana to be able to Fell the Profane. We can take 2. Like, there's something to be said about flashing in the Bowmaster here, but I don't want to get blown out in combat, and our life total's fine for right now. Alright, they're just passing the turn, so let's get in. Hit the defending, like, the upright Cat Warrior that can block. Flash them Bowmasters. these style of decks, I feel like we're much better post board because we'll have whatchamacallits as well, Toxic Deluge and Torox and stuff like that. Okay, I like that. I think there's something to be said about like let's just kill the Ajani now. Just get this out of the way. We're shields down for a turn, but we kind of have the board under control. If they had another Ajani, they would have played it already. And then to not... we'll get in with just the Orcish Bowmaster for now. I don't think they're going to have any surprise flat... Oh, maybe they will. Just the Sword Splashers. Okay, that's fine. I'd rather that hit that than the Unstoppable Slasher. And now I've got the Orc Army on backup. We have card draw engines going on. We can draw 2 cards next turn. Or 1 if they value getting rid of my Castle Lockwing more than their mana. Which it doesn't look like it. Alright, another basic Plains. That's okay-ish. Into another Vexing Bobble. Okay. So I've got 1 more stun counter on the Unstoppable Slasher. They've got 2 cards in hand. They did not go after my Castle Lockwing, which is good. Oh, yeah, we'll just snap block this and clear the board. I'm A-okay with that. That little dude ain't doing much right now anyways. A Chain of Smog actually would be kind of insane here. Another land. I'm not really a fan of that. Since this is going to be the same amount of damage to me anyways, let's do that. Okay, into a Sedgemoor Witch. I actually like that quite a bit, because this could allow me to go infinite. I am going to tap the Castle Lockwing just so that I have value out of it, because they might just Wasteland it next turn now that they got another basic land. And this presents a infinite combo if I can hit a Chain of Smog. And their deck can't be infinite life, I don't think, unless there's some combo I just don't know about in it. They also could value their mana more than taking out my Castle Lockwing. This also, if they target it, it's a bolt to their face. Which, I mean, at 20 life, that's not huge, but I don't like that they are getting more lands. Okay, just being Vexing Bobbles, that's actually pretty fine by me. Like, as long as they're not adding creatures to the board. This is also Vexing Bobble number 3. Which one do they go after? I'm assuming they go after the Unstoppable Slasher. That's fine. They don't have any other energy production. Ocelot Pride is okay-ish. I would like a removal spell for it. That is a removal spell for it. This also gives me a free sack. Because, like, that's the nice part about Smallpox with Sedgemoor Witch. Oh, I should have played on my land. I'm an idiot. I forgot that the discard was the first thing that happened. Oh, well, that's not a huge deal. They are empty-handed at the moment. And I feel like their mana is probably more important than going after my Castle Lockwing at this point. They might just get rid of their Wasteland. Yeah, they got rid of their Wasteland. I should have played out my land, but I didn't. And like I said, they have no mana production or no energy production here. So unless they hit like a Guide of Souls or another Static Prison, we are going to get the Unstoppable Slasher back in a few turns. Okay, there's mana production. I'd like another removal spell. Like another Smallpox, Fatal Push. That is not what I wanted. We're going to go ahead and draw. Unfortunately, it's another land. We're kind of just hoping all they have is mana at this point. We're hoping they don't hit any more creatures. Like an Ajani here would be absolutely brutal. But we're kind of hoping they just hit lands. They are redrawing. So they do have 2 cards in hand now. If they can't keep the mana or the energy production going, we do get Unstoppable Slasher back next turn. Ocelot Pride would be absolutely brutal here. Okay, Rishan Import's not bad. Hopefully the other thing in hand... Okay, doesn't seem to be a creature, unless they're trying to see if I will attack or pop this and I have a removal spell in hand. They could be trying to bait out a removal spell here so that whatever they play sticks. But that's not going to happen. I have a land, they don't know that. Just pass the turn. Okay, yeah, they're just passing the turn. We are going to go ahead and fetch here within the deck. We don't want any more lands. Any removal spell would be great here. A Liliana would be great here. They're going to port this. We have more lands in hand, so I think we're going to go ahead and just draw here. Into a Sinkhole, which isn't bad. It's not what I want, but it's not bad. And a wait. Well, we can cut him off of a ton of mana, which I think is what we're gonna do here. Let's just kill that now. We're getting Unstoppable Slasher back next turn. We have a new blocker. We can get in. They don't have any more card draw, so I'm assuming whatever is in their hand was a land or a 2-drop. We get Slasher back now, so we have a very scary threat and a good blocker for Guide of Souls. Caracas is whatever. Skyclave Apparition, that can get rid of Unstoppable Slasher for good. Yeah, they're going after the Slasher. That's totally fine. They're wasting all their removal spells on Slashers, which I'm fine with. That one card is eating like 12 removal spells now. If I can top deck a Chain of Smog, we just go infinite and we win on the spot, and I have the mana to be able to try to draw into it as well. Vexing Bauble, that's not really what I want. That is a 1-mana redraw, though, versus spending essentially 4. Come on. Give me something good? Chain of Smog? No, another land. Let's see what we draw here. There's the Chain of Smog. Okay. Do this. Let's keep going after their white lands for now. If they just play out a creature next turn, we go infinite and we win. So as long as they don't top deck a removal spell to get rid of the Sedgemoor Witch, we just win. Unless they randomly have like a sweeper. And we'll go ahead and just snap block with the pest token. I don't really care about that. That's fine. Yeah, we'll block with the pest token. It actually gains us a life in addition to stopping the damage. So I'm a little concerned about what their last card might be, unless they decide to port me on my upkeep, which they might do. Alright, they're going to port me on my upkeep, which means they have no mana to do anything. I'm actually okay with that, because now we go infinite and we just win. And a Slasher. And I have the mana to do everything, so we're going to do this. And now we go infinite. We just have to make sure that we hit enough, or we make enough creatures that this doesn't matter. And now we just make infinite 1/1s. We'll probably get it so that we have, like, what, 20 of them? So that no amount of spot removal should be able to get them through this. Alright, so it looks like we probably got game 1, unless they randomly have a 3-mana Wrath. Okay, they scoop it up. They don't. Okay. I'm very happy we picked up game 1. Game 2 and 3, we are absolutely bringing in Toxic Deluge and Torok. Vexing Bauble doesn't do anything against them, so that's an easy 3 cuts. And because of the fact that they have so much exile-based removal, I'm thinking we trim 1 Sedgemoor Witch and 1 Unstoppable Slasher. It actually might be better just to trim 2 Unstoppable Slashers. I don't think they're going to do much. If we can pop off the combo with Sedgemoor Witch, as we saw, we can win. So I think we're actually better off, as much as I hate it taking out Unstoppable Slashers. There's something to be said about also maybe taking out a Liliana. It's not super efficient, but on a relatively empty board, sticking would be insane. So let's try that. Okay, I don't hate this hand. It's a little slow, but we're going to keep it. Aether Vial. Yeah, okay, so they're a Vial version. So getting them empty-handed isn't going to do a ton. I mean, granted, it gets to the point where you get them empty-handed. If they have enough lands, they can just top deck whatever. Another Liliana. We're just going to start out with Swamp, see what they do. This is a little bit slower of a hand than I would like, but it's also at a point, too, where, like, if I can Bowmaster into Liliana, or if they're low on lands... Alright, so they might be trying to tax me out here, which is what it looks like they're trying to do. Let's see. A Dark Ritual would be insane here. Do I want to get them off of their mana is the question. Like, I can't do anything right now anyway, so yeah, let's just take out their port so they can't keep doing this bullshit. If they vial in a Guide of Souls or an Ocelot Pride, that kind of sucks, but... Okay, they didn't vial anything in yet. I also wouldn't hate if they kept a one-lander or were just banking on this vial super hard. Alright, they shocked in a land with Vial on 2 and passed. We're gonna see if maybe they're gonna. I don't know. They could Vial in a Johnny. They could Vial in. I don't even know what they would Vial in here. I don't know why they shocked either. That's kind of confusing. I can also pretty much force the Ajani flip whenever it wants. Like, do they have some? No, they don't have a flash creature, so I don't know why they just shocked that in the way that they did. A Skyclave Apparition would be annoying. I can also try to get them off of... Well, I guess I'm not getting them off of mana entirely. I can get them off of white mana entirely if I want to. I could try to kill a Johnny here. It's probably not the worst thing in the world to try to double block the Ajani. And it shouldn't get blown out by a, whatchamacallit, Skyclave Apparition. Because I can double block, and they can only remove one. They can't flash in another Ajani at instant speed to stop this. They would need Skyclave plus another removal spell, like a Swords to Plowshares. And we're going to blocks, so we are going to double block here, just so that like a single Skyclave can't kill us. It would wipe our board and give them something, but I don't think it matters. Okay, no. They're gonna let this all go, I guess? So then the question becomes is, do I want to Liliana here? So I can Liliana, or I can try to get them off of... Oh, okay. Since that's what we got going on here, we are definitely gonna Liliana. Because we can wipe the board no problem here. I don't care about any of this now. A Skyclave is fine, because it can get rid of our first Liliana. Then we wipe the board and we drop another one. Like, I would love for them to overextend into this Toxic Deluge. What is the opponent doing? Oh, Disruptor flew. Okay. I can honestly say I was not expecting that. I don't have a way to deal with that. But now I would love for them to overextend their board into this. Yeah, we're just going to hold back on D, see if we can get them to commit more to the board here to try to clear it and think they have us on lock. And then hopefully we can just hit a Torok and then just go to town. What the fuck is this? Whenever one or more creatures enters, draw a card. This ability. Oh, interesting. Okay. So they do have a card advantage engine here. Basically, we just want a Torok or something off the top would be phenomenal. These are all still X1s, so... Okay, go after my Wasteland, that's fine. Into another Wasteland, also fine. Swordsing that. Okay, please play out your last card. Whatever it is, please just play it. Overextend into this Toxic Deluge, please. There's something to be said about just going after their mana for now, trying to get them to overextend. Or like I said, oh, Smallpox is interesting. Yeah, let's just Smallpox. That's what makes the most sense here. Because they need to decide if they want to go down 2 lands. They're vialing something in to be able to sack it, I guess. Skyclave, I guess to draw a card that they're going to have to discard anyways. And I mean, I guess give them an extra body. Okay, this seems to be resolving. Okay, that's fine. I can chuck Liliana. I'm assuming they're just sacking the Skyclave here. And they lost a Guide of Souls. We're going to get rid of the Castle Locktwain. We're at a pretty decent life total here. I'm not super concerned yet. We are also kind of low on life at the moment. Or low on clock. So I do need to find a actual like win con here shortly. Because we are going to run to a point where if this goes to a game 3, then... Okay, just another land. That's totally fine. We can start attacking their lands until we find a whatchamacallit, a win con. Like I said, being able to just kind of go land, Torok would be the absolute best here. Okay, I don't hate Sedgemoor Witch. That's not bad. Because that will also survive an X equals 1 and give me a body. Well, actually, it'll give me the body, then the body will die, but... we'll see. We also are at the point where if we can hit land into Chain of Smog and they just don't have anything, we also can just pull the infinite combo again and win. Our life total is starting to become a liability, though. So I do actually kind of need, whatchamacallit here. And they're just hitting lands. I'm kind of surprised they didn't want to play that out, honestly. Okay, there's a land. Do I want to take one more hit, or do I need to just wipe the board here? I think I need to wipe the board, unfortunately, and just hope that they don't really draw anything. And then if they can just go, like, land, and then I hit one of my primary win cons, like Chain of Smog or something, that would be great. Sanctifier and Vec. Interesting. Okay. I needed some kind of edict effect to be able to get rid of that, or I need Chain of Smog. Let's play this, and then we'll play Wasteland. Blow up another one of their white sources. We might be going to a game 3 here. We just kind of bottomed out a little bit here, and they were able to get too large of a board presence. We're still at a point, though, where, like, if I top deck a Chain of Smog and they don't have anything, I can just win. But I've theoretically only got one more draw step. Okay, yeah, so basically, this is it. This is my last draw step to be able to get out of this. And we have to hope that they don't have another Skyclave Apparition here. Fatal Push does not do it. So we'll go to the next one. That one was actually super close. Okay. I don't think we want to change anything, honestly. Unfortunately, this deck has, like, 0, whatchamacallit, artifact destruction. I might bring in 2 Null Rods here, take out a Slasher, take out one of the Felda Profanes, because it's a little slow. Because we didn't see the Vial in game 1, and it did help them a bit, so maybe bring in some Null Rods to combat that. I don't know if I want to bring the last one in or not. There's something to be said about Leyline, too, since now we saw Enduring Ideal or whatever the hell it is. But let's try something like that. Alright, let's see. Give me a good hand. Give me something explosive. Okay, I actually kind of like this. Yeah, I don't hate this at all. A fast Lily. It's a little awkward if they get a whatchamacallit, Disruptor Flute, but we're going to hope that a fast Lily is going to at least do some shit, followed up by Mana Denial plus double removal spells. And we are going to go ahead and just chuck the other Lily in case they have a Disruptor Flute, and hope that we can top deck fairly well. And just try to keep them off of mana. Chuck to Skyclave, okay. Orishan Import, which means, okay, Orishan Import into Aether Vial. That's kind of to be expected. Ooh, Torok. We're actually going to run out Torok here, because it's got pro white, and we're going to be able to start growing it right off of the bat. We are getting rid of a Fatal Push in the process, but this is an automatic grow Torok, even though we didn't get to kick it. And this also helps to be able to let Torok survive a, whatchamacallit, Toxic Deluge if I got a Deluge for 1. And they chucked another port. Okay. Kind of curious what I want to try to put into the yard. Like, if I hit a, whatchamacallit, ooh, they kept a 1-lander. Yeah, if I hit a Null Rod, I will absolutely play that and then just sit on this. I think we're good just chucking this Wasteland. And there's something to be said about also going after the Orishan Import here just to cut them off land more, but I'd rather try to hit a non-basic white source if I can. And if I can keep this Torok ticking up every turn, that would be amazing. I also need to be able to go after Karakas if they have one, so that they can't just keep bouncing my Torok. And if they vial something in, I'm just going to Fatal Push it in a heartbeat. A Guide of Souls. I guess we could wait to see what they do, but yeah, I think we'll wait just in case. Like, we can hit the guide in response to like an Ajani or something. But I'd rather save this Fatal Push for an Ajani if possible. Alright, they're vialing something in. Okay, Ocelot Pride. We're probably just going to bolt the Ocelot Pride in end step before it gets the trigger. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, second main, we're just going to bolt the Ocelot Pride. And they're going after Liliana. I think we're gonna just keep ticking up Liliana, honestly. Or we could down tick it just so that they can't do anything. I would like the Torok to keep growing though, but we don't want them to keep being able to gain life off of this Guide of Souls. Yeah, we're just gonna get rid of the Guide of Souls. It hurts a little bit. I'm still not super concerned about whatchamacallit here, the Rishon import, because they have the Aether Vial. And I think it was worth getting rid of the Guide of Souls here, because it means they can't play another one. Okay, they have a Wasteland, that's fine. They'll probably just go after the Castle Locked-Wayne, yeah, that's fine. I'm not super concerned about that at the moment. Is this a Skyclave apparition? Yes. I mean, we're still winning this race, so I'm not super concerned about that. I also have a lot of cards that can kill that. A Swamp is not one of them. But again, we are winning this race at the moment. And they are still super mana screwed at this point. It's not worth going after the Rishon import because I want to be able to draw and play a 3-drop if I get it. Because if I hit another Liliana, I can just downtick Liliana, get rid of Skyclave, get another token back. Our opponent's just going to get in. That's fine. They're hitting for 2. I'm hitting for 4. And I have pro white. Their clock can increase relatively quickly here. I actually actively do not want to play this smallpox yet. Not until I can get another creature on the battlefield. It really sucks that, because this would technically make Torok lethal if I could cast, or if I didn't have to sack it. Alright, they finally hit another land. That being said, they've got one draw step after this to be able to find a way out of this. And they can't block the Torok. If I can find a way to make them discard a card also, then Torok becomes lethal. Okay, Guide of Souls buys them a little bit of time. But if they're only casting 1 or 2 creatures a turn, Torok still outscales this. The problem would be something like a Ocelot Pride. Like, that would be the absolute worst, is if they had an Ocelot Pride, but they have to wait till their turn. Dark Ritual doesn't do anything. I mean, we're just going in. I think we're at a point now where, because I have this Dark Ritual... actually, no. Because the problem is if they Karakas, I'm kind of screwed, but I think it's worth it to stop them from being able to play multiple creatures next turn. Oh, shit. If I had Smallpox there, they were just dead. Well, no, they could have vialed a creature in. They're keeping it on 3. Did they draw a way out of this? Okay, Ocelot Pride gets them some life, but can it get them above 4? I don't think it can, because they could vial in another creature, get a Ocelot Pride trigger. Yeah, they're still at 3. They can vial in 1 more creature, unless it's a way to blink or bounce. I think they're just dead here. Like, I'm not sure what they could vial in at 3 that would save them here. Going to blocks, okay. Did I get there? Do you have a trick? No, we got there. Okay, taking down mono white energy. Okay, I like it. On to the next one. Alright, lost the die roll. This is a little bit slower, but it has the combo if our opponent doesn't do anything. I mean, I know that's asking a lot for opponents to not do anything, but I would love a Vexing Bauble into a land, I think. Would be the absolute best thing here. Okay, Meticulous Archive. So this is either going to be some kind of slow, dirtily control deck, or this could be a Nadu / breakfast style deck. So we'll see. Like I said, a Bauble at the top would be the best. Okay, Smallpox isn't terrible. I don't like waiting until turn 2 to do anything, but it looks like it's the situation we're in. A Dark Ritual would be pretty nice. Okay, I'm getting Nadu vibes here. If this is just an illusionist, I can try to kill it with Bowmasters. Like I said, a Dark Ritual wouldn't be terrible either. Ponder, okay. Shuffled their library. I like it when they shuffle. Alright, just passing the turn after that. Veil of Summer is something they could have main deck. Fell the Profane. That's fine. This means I might be able to go for the combo over a few turns. However, if they're breakfast, they can beat the combo. I also don't like playing tap out pass against the blue deck. This also kind of telegraphs pretty hard that I have a Bowmasters. Teferi. Yeah, we got to try to get this in. They probably have a counterspell here, and if they do, Oh, they don't. Okay. So this is a little annoying, depending on what happens here. This is screaming Nadu breakfast based off of what I'm seeing here. They are ticking up the Teferi, which is kind of whatever. I can hit it down. I could also smallpox here. I could try to set up for my own combo. It's just really like, what do I think is going to be the best bet here? Let's play the swamp. Let's get in and see what they do. I might just play Liliana and hope for the best here, because I am very nervous about them. This is going to make them delete the Teferi to bounce something. And I don't think Slasher is where I want to be in this match right now. Because, yeah, if they've just got it, they got it. Let's check the Slasher. I don't think that's where I want to be right now. If they got the combo, they got the combo. It is what it is. And unfortunately, the way that Nadu works, if this is Nadu and not just straight breakfast, like, it gets around Bowmasters, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. But if they just have, like, Illusionist... Okay, they're ticking it up. But if they just have, like, Illusionist Shuko or Illusionist Nomad, we're just dead here. We'll just see what their deck has in it, just for Game 2 information. But they're not, like, going off here. Which, if they don't just pop off here, I think what we do is we chuck the Smallpox, play Sedgemoor Witch, and try to set up to be able to do our combo. I feel like they're pausing really long. I feel like they have a Nadu, but no other land currently, which is why they're like, I don't know about this. Because if they just play... Okay, they're going to Swords... Okay. This could have been worse, I guess. Okay, they wanted to Ponder. So they don't have it yet. If I play Sedgemoor Witch, they're going to have to delete the Teferi and take 3. So I think we're going to uptick. We're going to chuck Smallpox, play the Fel the Profane, play Sedgemoor Witch, set up the Hope in 2 turns, Chain of Smog combos enough to get them. I actually would not hate having Dark Ritual, because then I can do everything in 1 turn. Alright, shuffle their library again. Again, I like it when they shuffle, because it means they didn't see something they wanted. We are slowly eating through their hand. Okay. So, depending on what we draw here, we start off with going after Teferi. It does suck that... Okay, Sinkhole is interesting. I think we start off, go after the Teferi. We kind of just stick with what we were going to do. Attack Teferi. Uptick Liliana. Yeah, I think we want to get rid of the Smallpox. Chuck to Snow-Covered Plains. I am going to shock myself here just to be able to play around a Daze. Because if this is like Nadu Breakfast, Daze is definitely something that they can do. And then we just hope that they don't find their combo in the next 2 turns. And then we also can Sinkhole, then Chain of Smog, or we can Uptick and then Chain of Smog. Just bin whatever you find. They're not doing like an instant bin it, so it's not something that they instantly want, but it's not something that they instantly don't want. Okay, it's a Bristly build, they binned it. Okay, that's good. So it is just the Nadu version, it's not breakfast combo. Ooh, okay, they're deleting Teferi to bounce the Sedgemoor Witch. Okay. That's good for me. If I hit a land, then I can try to go for it. There's Nadu. Do you have the Nomad? Do you have a Nomad or a Shuko to go with this is the question. They're not insta-slamming it. Okay, they're passing the turn. They can bounce the Nadu. If we just hit a land, I think we just go for it. Like, if this is a land, it's a land. Okay. We are going to go ahead and uptick to start. See what they chuck. Let's get rid of Sinkhole. They chuck a Misty, so this is going to have to be Force of Will, I think. And now we try to go Infinite. See if our Infinite can be your Infinite. And we'll do this probably for like 30. Oh, okay. They have a Swords. Okay, so the game goes on. Well, we're going to get rid of your hand. See what your last card was. And now we're both in top deck mode. Delighted Halfling, okay. Their top decks are a little scarier than ours, though. We're not going to get in. Like, their top decks are definitely scarier than ours. Again, they're not just slamming whatever they got, so... I do need to find a way to kill this Nadu, though. This is a Bristly Bill. Maybe? Green Sun for 1. That can get them... Oh, Sylvan Safekeeper, okay. That can get them a few flips at the cost of their lands. Force of Will, okay. That's annoying, but not the end of the world. Yeah, they got the Nomad. We're gonna scoop it up here. It's not worth sitting here for this. Like, they're not guaranteed to win, but they virtually are. Like, this is my argument for why Nadu is like number 3 on my ban list of cards that I feel should be banned. Like, it's not a deterministic combo, but it's just so undeterministic, so to speak, that it's just not really worth trying to fight through, and like it just leads to bad gameplay patterns. We're gonna bring in Torok and Toxic Deluge. All of their removal is exile based. We can probably take out Unstoppable Slashers, and we'll trim the Smog combo because again, their removal is exile based, so it's just really risky. Let's try that. This is interesting. I think we're going to keep it. It's got a lot of disruption. It should buy us some time until we're able to just kill them. Alright, start out with the Verdant Catacombs. Hopefully we can kill their 1-drop, disrupt their mana enough that they stumble, and we can take this one. Like I was saying, I don't feel like Nadu is power level too much. It's just really, really bad gameplay patterns. Alright, Misty Rainforest cracks it, grabs a Trop. Okay, I think we're just gonna go ahead and our turn wasteland that, kill the halfling. Wasteland the Trop so that they can't daze, and then kill the Delighted Halfling. And then we have 2 Smallpoxes if we need them. Alright, just a Flooded Strand from the opponent and a pass. I'd like a boat. Okay, Sinkhole's not bad. That can take care of a basic land. Alright, Hedge Maze off of the Flooded Strand. Bidding a Nomad, so they've either already got a Nomad or that's not the route they're trying to go here. Another Wasteland wouldn't be terrible, just cut them off of 2 lands here. It's just a matter of, do we think blue or green, or green or white is more important right now? Kept whatever that was on top. Green for what? Green Sun Zenith for 0. Alright, what is the order of this? Sacks a creature, then sacks a land. So I think we are going to go ahead and just Smallpox here. I don't think we need this Chain of Smog. Another land is nice. Let's play this. And we will Smallpox. I can play around a Daze. If they Force of Will, it gets 2 cards out of their hand, and then I can follow up with another Smallpox next turn. We will get rid of the Chain of Smog. We don't want that at the moment. Get rid of one of our tapped basics. And then we will pass the turn. We do technically have 2 lands still covered here, so depending on what they do, we might Smallpox again, we might just Sinkhole. If they don't play a land, we're going to Sinkhole. If they're able to play a land and a creature, I think we Smallpox again. Chose not to shuffle. Found a land. We have an answer for that. I'll say, honest... Ooh, Vexing Bauble is nice. We're going to start with that so that they can't counter anything here. And then our life total is a resource, so we're going to shock this in. Like, our life total is going to be irrelevant in this match. Like, 100% irrelevant. We're going to do that, and then we are going to go ahead and Sinkhole your basic. And then if I have to, I can Smallpox and still have 2 mana. Brainstorm. Hopefully we can Brainstorm lock them here. That'd be nice. Okay, they found another land. Them finding these lands is kind of annoying. Okay, Toxic Deluge doesn't do anything. I think we're just gonna pass the turn here. I brought that in thinking that they'd like try to flood the board with small creatures when they saw that like I just have a bunch of 1-for-1 removal. And they're just like not doing that, so there's something to be said about maybe I should have Smallpox there just because this Toxic Deluge is pointless in my hand, but I also want to keep it just in case they slam a Nadu or something. They're just sculpting their hand like crazy right now, so Alright, they're getting their mana under them finally, so Smallpox isn't looking as good anymore. I need something good. They do another Toxic Deluge. I think I'm still gonna wait for right now. I don't like it, but we're kind of bottoming out here. I don't like that we're allowing our opponent to reestablish their mana and do stuff. Like I said, I'm kind of just holding on to this in case they try to do anything on the board. This is a juicier Smallpox target now, so this actually is probably worth Smallpoxing. Especially if I draw a land. Yeah, this is definitely worth a Smallpox here. Let's cut their blue a little bit more. But this is a much nicer Smallpox target here, because I'm getting rid of 2 of their lands and their creature and a card. Also, at this point, I hate to say it, but I'm almost playing to the clock. Our opponent is a full 6, almost 6.5 minutes behind at this point. They're playing incredibly slow. If I can get this to a game 3, they very much have a chance of timing out. The way that this game is going as it is, they're kind of getting close to timing out. Chuck one of the deluges. I don't even know what they're chucking here. They chucked a prismatic ending. Apparently they don't care about this bauble. We'll get rid of the non-basic, just in case for some weird reason this deck has wastelands. And I mean, even if they tried pending the Vexing Bauble, I'd just crack it for a card. Alright, we're finally running them out of lands. I mean, yeah, let's just do it. Like, get you off your lands entirely. Ooh, Veil of Summer, okay. Well, it cycled a card through their hand. I know their next card isn't a land because they mana lock themselves. We're just going to play another Bauble, because this allows us to cycle one of them. Into a Bowmaster. Okay, that's not bad. That's finally something I can do. This should be their first fresh draw. Into a Nomad, which I can kill. While they have their shields down, I am going to go ahead and just send a Bowmaster in, so that they can't do another Veil of Summer. I like having 2. And I finally have a clock on the battlefield. Alright, still nothing going on over there. Smallpox. I think I'm going to wait until they have a creature for that. I don't want to go down a land. Like, the Orc Army is a free chuck, and honestly at this point so is the Deluge, but I don't want to go down to 1 land. Yet. With them not doing shit yet, I think I am going to run out the other Bowmaster. Like, I need to close this game out. Their Force of Willing that's getting countered. Or do they have another Veil of Summer to prevent this? Okay, they don't. Alright, we forced it to a game 3, and they're sub 10 minutes on the clock. Honestly, I think I just run it back. I mean, this is an interesting hand. I think we're going to keep this. Like, this is crazy good if they don't have a Force of Will to start. If they have a Force of Will, we just get absolutely wrecked, but... they did go to 6. Into a Delighted Halfling. Okay, what do I want to do here? I could... Okay, we hit another land. Oh my god. Do we trust that they don't have Force of Will, is the question. Because this turn, I can Ritual out a Torok. I could also do 1 Ritual in Smallpox. And then next turn I can Ritual out a Bowmaster. I could Ritual out Sinkhole Bowmaster. And then set up for a Torok. That might be the better option here. I mean, we're just gonna see if they... This all doesn't matter if they have a Force of Will, so... grab a Swamp. Ritual. If they have a Force, we just try to do this next turn. They're pausing like they want to counter this. They do counter it. Or not. They started to, and then they decided not to. Okay, Force of Will, Pitching Ponder. That's mostly fine. This does allow me to kick a Torok next turn, or do all of this shit again. So we'll see. If they just slam a Nadu, that's a little annoying. If they don't do anything, we'll probably just Ritual out a Torok and get them empty-handed. But we'll see. If we draw a land, we might just Smallpox. Like, because I don't want to go down on my lands too much. Or we could Liliana. That is a thing that we could do as well. Play this. Yes. Let's Ritual this out. See if their last card is another blue card Force of Will. No. Alright, do I want to double spell here? I could kick a Torok. I think I just want a Liliana here. And if we empty their hand, it's the same thing if we had done a Torok. And then next turn, we can start going after their mana. Okay, they're cycling a Veil of Summer. That's mostly fine. It's a little awkward, but not terrible. We'll see if they value this Liliana or if they want to cast something here. If they just kill the Liliana, we might just Smallpox, especially if we hit a land. They kept whatever it was on top. Alright, so this is either a Nadu or a Teferi. Okay, there's Nadu. Is it land nomad? No. Okay, so at this point we are 100% going to Smallpox. Okay, especially since we hit a land. Yeah, we are Smallpoxing the hell out of this shit. Let us uptick. Each player discards a card. I think we're gonna chuck Bowmasters, cast a Smallpox, and we're probably gonna chuck Sinkhole. Or, I don't know. I might actually chuck Torok here. Because the Lily's probably going to die regardless. Yeah, let's check the Torok. We're going to try to keep them off of their mana and buy time to be able to deal with this Nadu. Alright, yeah, we're just going to try to see if we can find a way to deal with this Nadu. Because I'm sure the Nadu is going to go at the Lily, because it needs to, otherwise the Nadu dies. Yeah, Nadu's going after Lily. It doesn't look like they have any more lands at the moment. Fell the Profane. We're just gonna kill that, and if we Dark Ritual, we can kill the Nadu. If we Lily, we can play Fell the Profane, downtick Lily, kill the Nadu. Like, we are close to multiple... Okay, there's a land. So I'm one land away from being able to just Fell the Profane the Nadu. It will draw them a card, but I'm a little worried about a Force of Will, if that's what they've got in their hand right now. That is a Lily. Okay, that resolved. And now we're going to play this, because we want to be able to start drawing. They have no lands. We can play anything that we draw, and we're just going to slowly work our way up Liliana. And they have no lands. Okay, I like where we're at. Ooh! Ooh! Hell yeah! Kick a Torok. Discard 2 of your cards. Discard a third with Lily. Okay, I think we have this one now. Like, they're going to need some god draws to get out of this. Had another Nadu, a Nomads, and a Delighted Halfling. So they were just a land away from being able to kind of just do their thing. Alright, and we took down Nadu. Took down the bird. Alright, I like it. On to the next one. Alright, round 3. It's the next day. I had to cut filming short yesterday, but we were on the die roll. Let's see if we can finish out this league that we already started out pretty well on. I mean, this is a turn 1 Liliana, so I think we're going to keep this. It's a little awkward that our second land is probably coming in tapped, but we're going to go ahead and go for it. See what happens here. We have a lot of lands in the deck to be able to possibly draw a fetch land or a basic here. So we do have quite a few outs to this. Our opponent kept on 7 as well. A Force of Will is a little brutal, but we'll see what happens here. It will get 2 cards out of their hand if they do Force of Will this. I'm not 100% sure what I want to chuck here if this resolves. I think we might just chuck the backup Lily here. Fatal Push. Okay, so something else black. This is probably Grixis or Dimir Tempo if I had to take a guess based off of just a Fatal Push. Like, I honestly wouldn't care right now if they were to just go ahead and play a Wasteland to get rid of this. I've got more lands in hand to work my way up. Alright, just playing a land and passing. Untapped land, Bowmaster, something. Another Smallpox is interesting. I think we're going to chuck the redundant Smallpox here. Tameo. Okay, so this is screaming like Dimir Tempo, Refroginator, something along those lines. Opponent is fetching. I'm assuming this is probably going to be a Surveil land, which will tell us what their second color is. Okay. Undercity Sewers. Yeah, this is screaming Reanimator. So we'll see what this turns into. Also, hello, opponent, if you happen to catch this. Good luck. Have fun, you as well. Tameo, I can downtick to kill that, or if they uptick it, Okay, they're able to flip it instantly with a brainstorm. That's not terrible for us here. That being said, depending on what we draw here, we will play Castle Lockdwain and then Smallpox if we don't draw something hyper relevant. This Tameo is going to be mildly problematic if I can't find a Bowmasters. If I can get them with a Bowmasters in response to them ultimating a Tameo. Alright, that's a basic. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna uptick Tameo. My best bet here is still to just say screw it and Smallpox, I think. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We will go down a land. We realistically only need 2 to really operate here, and hopefully we can screw our opponent out of something. We can ultimate our Liliana before they ultimate their Tameo, but they'll probably keep their Tameo. Because I could do, like, lands or Tameo is your choice. I really need a, whatchamacallit, though, Bowmasters. And for the opponent to not have a counter spell or a removal spell for it. Like, them being able to play it and flip Tammy on the same turn is huge. Okay, no. I got 2 draw steps to get out of this. Another land. I guess that's okay. We can uptick Tammy again. Or Liliana. Oh, it's Doomsday. Okay, that's good to know for post-board games. I very much need a Bowmasters. Otherwise, they're going to be able to kind of just go off. I can't do anything here anyway, so let's just succeed the turn. Yeah, this deck does have a very hard time dealing with Planeswalkers. It's got the Fell the Profanes, but I'm not in a position where I'm going to have enough mana before they ultimate to be able to kill it. Like I said, it's basically Bowmaster or bust here. And their last card's a frog. Okay, so it's literally Bowmaster or bust, I think. That is a land. They're gonna ultimate Tameo. Yeah, we're not getting back into this one. We were probably like, yeah, Sedgemoor wasn't gonna do it. Yeah, we weren't gonna get there anyways. Okay, knowing what we're up against here, I like Torok quite a bit. Other than that, they have a combo that doesn't care about our Chain of Smog combo. So I think we're going to go ahead and just trim that combo down a little bit. We need, like, Bowmasters is going to be huge in this. No Rod, Damping Sphere. Yeah, I don't think any of those are going to work. Let's just try this. Okay, so unfortunately turn 1 Lily wasn't quite enough there. This is no land, so we got to ship it. Okay, I like this. This can give us a shot to get through a, whatchamacallit? We're going to keep this. I think we're going to get rid of the Smallpox. Because we only have 1 land. And it's very important that we keep it. This also does allow us to potentially double spell next turn if we hit another land. Because this turn we're going to go ahead and go fetch Swamp, play Vexing Bauble. If we hit another land, we could Dark Ritual, Sinkhole plus Bowmasters. Or if we don't, we might just Ritual out Sedgemoor Witch and hope for the best. They might have taken out the removal too, seeing that we are Pox. Because traditionally Pox doesn't play a ton of creatures, and when it does, it plays recursive stuff. So they might have taken it out. Alright, and here goes the Vexing Bauble. They might force this to keep their counters live. This also, okay, yeah, Force Pitching Daze. So they're doing this to be able to keep their counters live. Because that also could have shut down if they had any, like, LED lines as well. I would love a land here. We could also just go for the UnPOXable Slasher win here. Like, we came here to slash. We're going to slash. We'll see if this gets countered. No, let's drop a Slasher. Just start pressuring their life total. Alright, opponent's brainstorming. Unfortunately, we do need mana. And this is giving them a lot of looks at a Daze or any, like, Force of Will or anything like that. Okay, they do Daze. That's unfortunate. Now we're in a position where we very badly need lands. And that was our fastest clock. Oh boy, Lotus Petal. We might be dead. Okay, well this still could mean a Doomsday. I was going to say we're safe, but we're not. Because like they very well could Ritual out a Doomsday with this. That being said, depending on what they do, if they do Ritual out a Doomsday, if they don't have additional mana and make a pile that is susceptible to the Sinkhole, we have a shot. And that's not what we want to see. Okay, I mean, unfortunately, this is a risky run playing a non-blue deck. You don't really have manipulation at all. So you're just at the mercy of the top of your deck, and if you just don't have lands, you just don't play Magic, and it's fine. It happens. It's not a big deal. Opponent plays a Misty and fetches. See if this turns into a Doomsday, or if they pivoted more onto just the tempo route. This deck is on my list of things to play, though. It's in my queue. 2 blue. Ooh, Barrogoy. That's interesting. It's already a thick boy, too. 5/6. Lily can take care of this if I hit another ritual. A Fatal Push with no way to turn on Revolt sucks. Yeah, we're just getting mana screwed now. Like, it happens. It's probably, if I had to take a guess, this is going to be a repeat of the last league where, like, I win the first 2 matches and then just scrub out from there. But to be fair, like, this deck kind of goes against everything that is what Legacy is about right now. It is very much meant. Ooh, they can Murktide? That's not good for me at all. They do get the Murktide back, and they can instantly play it. Ugh. So that means that I need to take care of both Barrogoyf and the Murktide, which means I realistically really, really need a fetch land to Fatal Push this, followed up by another land to Lily the Murktide away. But as I was saying, this deck kind of goes against everything that Legacy is about right now, unfortunately, which is you need to be fast, and this deck is very, very slow. And I go over that a little bit in the deck tech, just kind of saying, like, I love this strategy, but because of what Legacy is currently, it's just not competitive, so to speak. Like, you can get some wins, as you saw, but it's definitely on a back foot compared to what the rest of the format is doing. And I'm hoping that... Okay, they chucked a counterspell. No, is this another Murktide region? If this is another Murktide, I think we're just dead. Yeah, we're just dead. Wow. Yeah, we'll let them kill us, but this here now is just lethal, because this makes this big enough. So we'll let them hit us and kill us. But yeah, because the second Murktide grew the first one, this is now 14 damage, and they didn't even shrink their Barrogoyf at all to do it. So, like, yeah, they're telling me they completely boarded out the Doomsday combo, which, I mean, like, we didn't really specifically board against it. We just boarded in more discard stuff, but... And opponent kills us. Good game, opponent. Good game. Alright, round 4. Won the die roll again. At least we're doing good winning die rolls. Okay, this hand is much more stable than last match, so we are snap keeping this. We have protection, card draw hate, removal, half of the theoretical combo here. Vexing Bauble also could just completely shut down a Storm deck. It resolves, okay. However, if we were up against the Eternal Weekend dominating deck of Forge combo, we're just kind of stone cold dead to what they're doing. Okay, Meticulous Archive, that's not bad. I don't hate that. That hopefully means they're on something slow. This could also be Nadu combo. Source of Plowshares doesn't really tell us much of anything, but they are betting that we don't have creatures, or they already have removal in hand. Seeing that there is exile-based removal here, I am a little worried about UnPOXable Slasher, or Unstoppable Slasher, because it's not going to be recursive. Okay, interesting that they're not doing anything yet. I think we're just going to hold. I like Wasteland. We can start attacking their mana. See if they're going to pop off a Brainstorm here. If they do... We'll flash in Bowmasters and just hope that they don't have another Swords to Plowshares. Are they just floating blue mana? Okay, they were just floating blue mana for the sake of floating blue mana. That's fine. I thought maybe they had the Brainstorm there for a second, but they didn't. Volcanic Island. Okay, so this is probably Jeskai control. So they probably got a bunch of removal. That being said, we will run this out now. It's a little shields down against what they could be doing in terms of if they're saving up to be able to, like, cantrip a bunch. I could also just get completely got here by a Source of Plowshares on this into a small 4th Aerolingus just for the sake of getting the Monarch going. But we'll see. This also does die to Bolt, so if they're on a version that's playing Bolt as well, it dies to a Galvanic Discharge as well if they're on an energy version. It does look like they're doing something. Okay, they did have another Swords. So I guess we're going to see how this does. At least we did Bolt their face in exchange for this. Just hoping that we don't get punished by like a tiny 4th Aerolingus or something. Okay, the Wasteland is pretty much dead. And they're just passing the turn, which I'm A-okay with. Another Vexing Bobble's interesting. We're going to play this as bait. If they want to blow that with the Wasteland, it's fine. We have another one. I'm not super concerned about it at the moment. And this still does leave up all of our interaction as well. And they're just passing the turn still, which is interesting. Another Sedgemoor Witch is interesting. There's a part of me that wants to just play out the second Vexing Bobble so that we have a theoretical cycle. So I think we're actually going to do that. Do the same thing where we pass the turn, where we hold up Bowmasters and Fatal Push. And if they don't do anything, we can just Vexing Bobble. And it seems like they're valuing their mana more than trying to take this out. We are going to go ahead and do this. If they have another Swords to Plowshares, that's fine. It is what it is. But it gets another one out of their hands, so that hopefully our Sedgemoor Witch will resolve. And it looks like they don't, so we're getting full value out of this Bowmasters. They could just have, like, a Wrath of the Skies if they hit another white source, but it doesn't kill the Bowmasters. It just gets rid of the Baubles and the Orc army. And they need to hit another white source, which this could be another white source. But they're choosing not to do anything yet. So we are going to draw with Bauble. Another Sedgemoor Witch. I don't hate that. And a Smallpox. So what? We can... I'm a little concerned about a Snapcaster Mage, so I think I'm only going to get in with the Orc army for right now. And since we are above our starting life total, I think we are going to play Fell the Profane, shock it in, to be able to Sedgemoor Witch and Smallpox. We both could go down 2 lands here, which, if that's the case, I'm actually kind of okay with it. Always yield to this. Always make our dude. Alright, they're fetching to do something here. Is this going to be another Surveil land, or are they actually getting colored mana to be able to do something here? Getting colored mana to do something. Okay, they have a Spell Pierce. That does suck a little bit. That does mean that if they found a Wrath the Skies, they can wipe most of the board. If they hit another land, they can wipe the entire board. That is another land. But they're not just slamming a Wrath of the Skies yet, so I'm hoping that means they don't have it. Casting a Dress Down. Okay. So that does shut off Bowmasters for a turn. They could drop like a... Okay, Dreadnought I'm actually kind of okay with. Because I have Fatal Push. 2 Dreadnoughts is interesting, but I think we can still win through that. Because we can kill one of them and a Ponder. Okay, so they're just doing all this. We have one of the Dreadnoughts taken care of, and it's going to die. And then we can probably swing in with both Sedgemoor Witch and... Chooses not to shuffle. That's mildly problematic, but not the end of the world. If we hit another removal spell, we just win. That actually does it. This is lethal. Because this is going to take care of both of their Dreadnoughts. And I can just sacrifice one of these creatures. Because this will get their last blocker out of the way, and then I can swing through for lethal. And they can't do anything because they don't have any free spells. Okay, took down game 1. I like that. Up against Stiflenought. Let's bring in the Taurox. This is another one where it's kind of like I'm not 100% sure what to do. They can't... They sort of kind of can be infinite life to a certain extent, because I can't do truly infinite. I will eventually time out. And seeing as their removal is exile based, Unstoppable Slasher doesn't seem great. But Unstoppable Slasher can kill a Dreadnought. I don't think Damping Sphere is worth it. Toxic Deluge is definitely not going to be worth it. Yeah, I think we just do the same thing we did last game. Just trim the Smog combo with Smidge, bring in the Torox. The pro white here actually is relevant. It's not just additional discard the way it was last match. So let's try something like that. It's getting a little dark out. No lands, cannot keep this. If this even had a land in it, it'd be great. We're gonna keep this, and I think we're just gonna get rid of the Chain of Smog. Hopefully we are alive long enough that this Torok is relevant. I would absolutely love a Vexing Bauble just to slam that. I mean, we got a ton of removal. We might just slam down Orcish Bowmasters at the end of their next turn just to be safe. But we'll see. Cracking their Scalding turn, that's fine. Into a Meticulous Archive, okay. If they're a version that's playing Null Drifter, unfortunately these Fatal Pushes will not do shit against a Null Drifter. So we've got to hope that their payoff is Phyrexian Dreadnought again. Alright, they're just passing the turn. Another Fatal Push. Okay, so we have two Fatal Pushes to try to... to try to get through, like, even a single counterspell. Because if they flash in a Doorkeeper Thrall here, on their turn, when they go for the Dreadnought, we can try to Fatal Push them twice. Or if this is just a Dress Down... Okay, it is a Dress Down. Our hope is that this is Dreadnoughts and not a Null Drifter. If it's a Null Drifter, we're in rough shape. If it's just Dreadnoughts, we have tons of Fatal Pushes to try to deal with this. Okay, so there's a Dreadnought. Just a single one this time. Okay, that's fine. Luckily, Fatal Push is a clean answer for Dreadnought. And if they have a counterspell, we have another Fatal Push. Spell Pierce on the first one, that's fine. We will try another one. And then if this gets countered, we still have a third? Ooh, Liliana. I think we will actually play Torok first. Because next turn, I can play Lily, uptick it, and it starts growing Torok. Whereas there's nothing in my hand I really wanted to get rid of there. And this is also a clock. Ooh, Sinkhole. Do we think mana is the restriction here? I don't think so. I think we are going to wait a turn. See if we can get them to pop off a cantrip. And then we'll flash in Bowmasters. Like, as soon... End of this turn, we're going to flash in Bowmasters regardless. Okay, Wasteland doesn't really matter here. We are going to snap off the Bowmaster here. If they want to counter this, that's fine. It means Lily should resolve... They could flash in a Dress Down here just to shut off this ability. This could be a hard cast Force of Will, which if it is, I'm okay with that. And it does look like a hard cast Force of Will. Okay, it is. So if we hit a land, Daze doesn't get through this. We actually can do quite a bit here now. So we're going to Dark Ritual to start. Play Lily. We are going to uptick first. Mana still isn't a restriction here, so I think we are going to get rid of the Sinkhole. I don't think it's worth going after their mana at this point. What did they chuck there? They chucked another land, and this still leaves up a Fatal Push to be able to try to get through another Dreadnought if they manage to piece that part together. I am a little worried about a Null Drifter still. Luckily, Liliana can downtick before it can attack. Okay, Tamiyo's fine. We can kill that at instant speed if they just pop off a, whatchamacallit. They might just block with it, honestly. So let's do this. See what they discard. If they pop off a Brainstorm here, we can Fatal Push in response, which it looks like that's what they're doing. Ew, it's a Stifle. Okay. We're going to see if they are willing to lose this Tamiyo. And it looks like no as of right now. Since they are empty-handed, we're just going to take it out. Just push our advantage while we have it. Unfortunately, we're now at a point where, like, if they top deck a bunch of stuff, like, Liliana is not going to be growing this Torok anymore. But there's something to be said about still just ticking it up anyways to be safe. I don't hate Wasteland. Let's... what are we going after? Let's just go after the Meticulous Archive. Like, there's no point doing anything else here. Like, we can lose our other Tamiyo or our other Liliana. That's fine, because we can get to a point where we can ultimate and start hitting more of their lands. And they've only got 2 draw steps to find a way out of this. The removal doesn't work. None of their creatures have flash. And they're never going to be in a position where they can Tamiyo and Brainstorm in the same turn. Another land. Uptick this. See if they got like another Stifle or something. Just flashing in a Doorkeeper Thrall, that's actually mostly fine. The worst thing that can happen here now is if they top deck a Dreadnought, at which point my down-ticked Liliana doesn't do it. So what is their top deck? Is this something that gets them out of this? It does not. All right, we took down Stiflenought. I like it. On to the next one. All right, positive record is locked. Final round, lost the die roll. I actually like this. We're gonna keep it. It's a little slow, but we've got interaction, and we theoretically have the turn 4 infinite combo. Or if we need to, we can just start going on the Sinkhole all your lands away route as we just build up more mana. Okay, something basic heavy. So the question is, do we want to go after their white mana or their blue mana? Let's go after... We'll start going after the blue mana. Because this can shut them off of cantripping. This shuts them off of removal. Okay, it's Stiflenought again. So these fatal pushes are going to look pretty good. Alright, opponent's brainstorming. That's mostly fine. Our hope is that we can get them off of... Okay, well, they're probably going to have mana regardless now. We'll see what they do here. We have 2 fatal pushes if we need to. Okay, Teferi is annoying. This is definitely something that the last opponent did not have. If they down-tick to draw a card, I think we're just... Yeah, they're down-ticking to draw a card. So I think we're just going to slam Sedgemoor Witch here. Because they can't bounce it. They're going to need actual removal. And then just hope that they don't end up having any counter magic for next turn. Or any removal. Like, if they just go, like, Doorkeeper Thrall into... Oh, they did have the removal. Okay. So this is going to make it significantly harder now. This opponent has a much better hand with Stiflenought than our last one did. Like, Teferi is a beating for this deck. Like, Planeswalkers in general, like I said before, we had the Fel the Profanes. But that only does so much. Wasteland is interesting. I can start attacking lands more if I want to. Yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and keep attacking lands. But they're playing on basics, so... And they can just go fetch another basics, whatchamacallit, and they're hitting their cantrips and we have no way to punish it. Alright, opponent did not fetch off of their Brainstorm. They're still hitting their lands. We will see what we draw. We don't need to go after their Volcanic Island yet. Bowmasters is nice-ish. Like, it's nice adjacent. We'll take that out, and then we'll play Bowmasters. Like, we have to play it on our turn. If they have a counterspell, they have a counterspell. If they have another removal spell, they have another removal spell. Like, we don't really have a choice here. They also could, like, Prismatic Ending it or something. They could also stifle this trigger, but it doesn't look like they did. Alright, now they're fetching. Grabs another basic. Okay, they just had the instant speed pending. I mean, they are low on cards, but that doesn't really mean anything at this point. We might just Chain of Smog them just to try to get more out of their hand. Or we'll just go ahead and Sinkhole. Just keep attacking their lands. Trying to get them off of removal colors here. Force of Will pitching Ponder. Okay. So they are low on cards. Unfortunately, we have to go after Teferi. Like, another Bowmaster would be nice. Just be able to hit this Teferi a little bit more. Possibly get rid of it. I can just F6 through the turn. It doesn't really matter. Narset, okay. So they've got card advantage back. They've got a Force of Will, so they can probably force whatever I play here. I mean, we kind of just gotta go for it. Like, they're going to have... wait, no. Reset blockers. I think I went... what the hell? Attack myself going after Narset. Okay. There's a very high chance they have a blue card in hand that's probably going to counter the Sedgemoor Witch, and if they don't, they'll find another blue card to be able to counter Chain of Smog. Unless we can hit a land and try to bait Chain of Smog, or bait this Force of Will. If they don't have removal, this can at least kill something. Like, this can at least kill the Teferi if they don't find removal. Ew. Days Undoing? And they're going to do this in upkeep. Or they're actually going to do it during draw phase. Yep, there's the draw. There, yeah. Well, I mean, this sucks a little bit. We can at least kill we can kill both of the Planeswalkers and reset the board at least. But this is also very not good because they now have a full grip to be able to do stuff with. But I mean, they are at the mercy of a random draw 7. Like, I was inclined to just scoop there because the chances of us coming back from that are slim to none, but there have been times where, like, I fired off stuff like that before and still been able to come back from it. I mean, we're just attacking with everything. Like, there's no point in holding back. Doorkeeper's Thrill can't kill Sedgemoor Witch. They are at a low enough life total where this might matter. To get rid of Sedgemoor Witch, they have to eat a bolt to the face again. And I do have a redraw with Castle Locthwain, so... Okay, they do have the swords, but it's at least a bolt to the face. And like I said, I do have a Castle Locthwain to try to start building my hand back up. However, if they just, like, randomly have 4th Aerolingus in this, like, we're in trouble. Okay, Prismatic Ending on that. My clock is now gone. 4th Aerolingus. Let's see what we're drawing here. Another swamp. I think we're going to have to go to the next game here. So they're actually Jeskai control with Stifle, which is weird. Or, sorry, I should say Dress Down. So they're just Jeskai. Yeah, okay. We can go to the next one. I know this seems like an early scoop, but we're just drawing lands. They're drawing multiple cards a turn. We can just go to the next one, in which case we want... Torok and Deluge are coming in. The amount of removal they have makes me think we need to take this combo out. Yeah, we'll do that. I thought about maybe taking out Unstoppable Slasher instead, but if I can stick this, it's a faster clock than this is, so let's try something like that. Alright, give me a good hand. Okay, I mean, this is decent. We can keep this. Just kind of work our way up the chain, I believe. So we'll play a Swamp Pass. Next turn we'll play the Bloodstained Mire, and we'll probably just flash in Bowmasters on their end step regardless. And kind of just start trying to go to town. Like, flash in Bowmaster, untap, play Fellmire, play UnPOXable or Unstoppable Slasher, and then just go to town. The question is do they have Stifles? We saw Dress Down. We did not see Stifle, though. Our opponent is still kind of just play pass. We do want to start working through their stuff here. Alright, so no Stifle yet. We're going to flash this in. Just start trying to run them out of stuff in their hand. Like, if this gets a counter out of their hand, that's great. Typically, these control-style decks don't have days. So this would have to get multiple cards out of hand unless they have something like a Stern Scolding. We don't get to punish the Brainstorm, but at this point, I don't really care that much. Okay, it essentially acted as a hymn to Torok. Got 2 cards out of hand. And they have white mana. We might actually... Okay, seeing as we got a Verdant Catacombs, I think we're actually just going to go after their removal color here. And play Unstoppable Slasher next turn. Try to keep them off of white as much as possible, so hopefully this Slasher will stick. It could also just straight up get bolted. Or not bolted, forced. Okay, Vexing Bauble is great. That shuts down counter spells, unless they have multiple counter spells here and they spend one on this Vexing Bauble. Okay, that resolved. I mean, I guess they could have, like, hard cast literal counter spell. Unfortunately, these Fatal Pushes look pretty bad here. If they have a Teferi, that kind of sucks. If they have White Source into a removal spell, that sucks. But we're at a point where we kind of just have to start going for it. They're going to have lands, yeah, so they're going to have access to white again. Do they have another swords? They're looking for a swords. Shuffle the library. I like that. Okay. So as of right now, it's sticking. They could also just do this at instant speed. I don't hate a secondary Vexing Bauble. That can cantrip. See if they've got anything here. So far, no. The Slasher is going to do some work. And I think we're going to wait. We could leave up double cantrip if they find a way to, like, wipe the board. Otherwise, their end step, we're probably going to cycle one of them. Narsets. So we will emergency cycle here. Toxic Deluge doesn't really do anything. They're still looking for a removal spell, I'm assuming. Okay, there's the swords. That sucks. Felmire does kill Narset if I draw one. Whatever I cast is going to resolve. It is a land. And I can't Vexing Bauble to get another draw here. So now we're in a very bad spot, especially because they get to dig with Narset again and I can't do anything about it. Into another Narset, so they could dig even further. And getting rid of the first Narset doesn't really do anything. They're at hardcast Force of Will now. And we're just bottoming out. Opponent tapped some mana, then untapped it. Not sure what they were trying to do there. Like I said, the fact that they have a hardcast Force now, I think I'm willing to crack this Bauble to draw a card. Another Slasher that's probably not going to do anything. I mean, we can play Wasteland, at least restrict their mana to some extent. Cycling Alluring Revealed, so it's basically just replacing itself, but it does mean they have one less mana next turn for a fourth. Chances are this is going to get forced. Unless they just have another removal spell. They could also Narset dig for another one. Okay, no. It did get 2 cards out of hand, though, so I mean, that's not nothing. They are down to 5. Like, if I could... Bowmaster, Smallpox, 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 Smallpox. I still have a shot. Alright, there's the 4th Aerolingus. We can wipe that up at least. Like, we can Deluge, wipe the board, hopefully hit a creature. I mean, I could have Fatal Pushed both 2 of them just to save a little bit of life, but I don't think that really matters at this point. Oh my god, so many lands. See if we can wipe the board. If this doesn't work, then I think we're just dead. Okay, I did wipe the board, but I still can't threaten the Monarch here. Mystic Sanctuary for another 4th Aerolingus. Yeah, I think we're just dead here. I don't think there's any one card that gets us out of this. Sinkhole could theoretically get them off of the red. But the chances of it resolving are slim to none, and... I mean, we gotta go for it. Like, the chances of this resolving are slim to none, and add on the fact that they probably have another fetch land. Yeah, this is just a hardcast Force of Will. Yeah, they got it. We'll let them do their thing. Alright, I mean, there's a world where I can push 2, but I think this will be big enough, because it'll be for... Yeah, I can kill 2, go to 1, and then I can't actually win. Because I can't mop up the last 2? Oh, I guess I go to 3. But if they have any counter spells, I'm just dead. Yeah, if any of these get countered, I'm just dead. Get your damage in, and then my top deck is going to not be anything. Because I guarantee you this top deck isn't going to reveal a Toxic Deluge. Yeah, it's a Dark Ritual. Good game, opponent. Good game. Alright, so at the end of the league, this deck was an absolute blast to play. It did everything that it was designed to do. We got to see it punish mana bases, even basic heavy ones. We didn't really get to showcase the Slasher as much as I wanted to, but we did get to see the Sedgemoor Witch combo pop off. But the deck is really well constructed. I really don't have many notes for the creator, Nene666, in terms of anything I would change in the deck. I actually really like what they did with the deck, and I think it's actually very well tuned. As I said during the video, though, this deck is kind of at a fundamental disadvantage as far as what Legacy is about right now. Legacy is a very, very fast format. And this is just an inherently slow archetype, so it's already starting out on a back foot. I did say that I addressed that in the deck tech, and I did, but I re-recorded it because I had some audio issues. So sorry if this is like kind of confusing why I said I addressed it before and I actually didn't, because I had to re-record that intro. But it was a ton of fun to play. I really, really do like what these Pox decks are doing. I really like the all-in mana denial strategy of this one in particular. We did run into a lot more white decks than I was expecting, so we didn't really get to showcase the slasher. It got a couple of hits in. I wish we could have done a little bit more with it. I will say, Fell the Profane, while it's versatile, it is very, very slow. Um, I might say maybe swap some of those out for like some Shoulder's Edicts or something, just so you have a little bit faster Planeswalker removal. We saw we had some issues dealing with Planeswalkers that were able to stick on the board and start accruing value before we could destroy them with Fel the Profane. So that might be like the only little bit of change I would make to the deck. The sideboard felt great. It kind of sucked we didn't really run into any graveyard decks, so the ley lines were kind of just dead cards for the entire league, but I definitely see why they're in the deck and why they're necessary, especially with Referoginator still being a very, very heavily played deck, even though we're seeing the meta shift a little bit more toward Mystic Forge after Eternal Weekend. But it was a blast to play. Thank you to Nene666 for sending me this list. It was a ton of fun. Great deck construction. Hopefully it treats you as well as it did for me. And for everyone else, thank you for watching. I hope you all had fun, and I will catch you all in the next one. As always, stay salty. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like and sub button below. They are free ways to support the channel. And drop a comment, let me know what you like. Any kind of feedback you got, your opinions on my gameplay, the decks that I play, any of that kind of stuff. If you really like what you see, go ahead and drop by the Patreon. Become a patron, get to read some of my tournament reports and some stuff going on outside of just Magic in my life that I'm going to start putting over there as kind of my own personal blog. Also, you can do donation deck lists over there, just the price of a league if you have a specific deck you want to see, or you have an idea you want me to brew around, something like that, go ahead and do that. Nothing is required. It's always appreciated, though. Any donations go directly back into the channel, covering stuff such as leagues for donation decks or the rental program that I'm a part of. I am a small-time YouTuber. I'm doing this for fun. I really hope you all like what you saw. I truly appreciate you all stopping by. I will catch you all in the next video, and as always, stay salty.